gave me some weird message. Y'all have heard the story of Samson. Interesting story. So this is kind of one of those stories we think we know the story of Samson, and when we go back and we read it as an adult, I would kind of find myself going, hey, I don't remember that part being in there. I don't remember that part being in there. Just so, like reading it in detail and whatnot. So we're going to kind of dive in and look at a lot of verses. So how does God use flawed people to accomplish his purposes? Hadn't he been doing that from the beginning? Everybody's been flawed.
My question is why?
Yeah.
Right?
Why?
Right.
Why would
So
anyone do that?
none of us are perfect. We know we're not perfect. Only perfect one is Jesus, and he's our role model. But if God didn't use flawed people, he wouldn't use anybody at all. Right? All right, Psalm 34:17-18. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all of their troubles. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. That fits Judges, because they're in that cycle of, I'm going to do good for a little while, then I'm going to abandon the Lord, then I'm going to cry out to the Lord, and then he's going to save me, and it's going to continue. We've already been through some of the Judges. So picking up in Judges 13, again, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. That's a phrase we hear a lot when we're going through there. And again, but we can apply that to our life, right? And again, Ashley messed up today like she did yesterday. And the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines for 40 years. So just as God can protect his people, he can put a hedge of protection around his people, he can also deliver his people to be oppressed by different kingdoms. We see that even when Daniel has the vision, Babylon rules over Israel. Then the Medes and the Persians, they're going to rule over Israel. Then you've got Greece is going to rule over Israel. Then Rome's going to rule over Israel. All of that has to do with God's plan. So God can deliver his people into captivity and have them rule over the promised land. All right, he sets up kings. He takes kings off thrones. It doesn't always make sense to us, but we're not God, right? Now there was a certain man from Zorah of the family of the Danites whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. It sounds familiar too, doesn't it? That happens a lot in the Bible. When the angel of the Lord, who's that? Jesus, right? Appeared to the woman and said to her, indeed, now you are barren and have born no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. That's happened before, and it's going to happen again, right? Several times. Now, therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink. Do not eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. That's the important thing. I don't think we always pick up on that. We think, well, once a baby's born, we can start following these rules. These rules were from the time he was conceived. That meant he was a person while he was on the inside, right? Okay? So that's why she can't drink wine or anything, because that was part of the Nazarite vow. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of God came to me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God. Very awesome. But I did not ask him where he was from, and he did not tell me his name. How'd she know what an angel looked like? Just a question.
Right.
Don't you think you would know when you saw an angel?
Daniel did. As soon as he saw an angel, he fell down.
Of course, angels are among us. Sometimes we're unaware of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think
Don't
they can
realize it until maybe
cloak themselves.
Yeah.
And he said to me, behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. Now drink no wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. God knew his story right then. He knew exactly what he was going to do and who he was going to be. Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, oh, my Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent to us again and teach us you sent, come to us again and teach us what we shall do for the child who will be born. He's ready to do what God wants him to do. Send him again, and I want to make sure I get it right. That's a good parent right there. Isn't that what we pray over our children? Lord, whatever you have planned, let me get it right, because I don't want to mess up, right? And God listened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of God came to the woman again, and she was sitting in the field, but Manoah, her husband, was not with her. Then the woman ran in haste and told her husband and said to him, look, the man who came to me the other day has just appeared to me. So Manoah arose and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he said to him, are you the man who spoke with this woman? And he said, I am. Did you get that? I am that I am. Remember that from the Exodus? Manoah said, now let your words come to pass. What will be the boy's rule of life and his work? So the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, of all that I said to the woman, let her be careful. Ooh, that's pressure. She may not eat anything that comes from the vine, nor may she drink wine or similar drink, nor eat anything unclean. All that I commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, please let us detain you, and we will prepare a young goat for you. Note those are capitals. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, though you detain me, I will not eat your food. But if you offer a burnt offering, you must offer it to the Lord. For Manoah did not know he was an angel of the Lord. Isn't it kind of funny? Like, she picks up and she immediately thinks it's the angel of the Lord, and he doesn't. Reckon he looked a little different?
She still recognizes.
She's still recognizing. I just thought that was a little bit odd.
Maybe women are smarter. I don't know.
More intuitive.
Here we go again.
Then Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, what is your name? And when your words come to pass, we may honor you. And the angel of the Lord said to him, why do you ask my name, seeing it is wonderful? So Manoah took the young goat with the grain offering, and he offered it upon the rock of the Lord. And he did a wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. It happened as the flame went up towards heaven from the altar, the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. When Manoah and his wife saw this, they fell on their faces to the ground. Now this one's a little different, and this is one of the things that, like, I want to think, well, I don't remember going over this before, because when we see Jesus ascending to heaven, what does he usually ascend in? A cloud. Have we ever seen it with fire? But here it's with fire, but it's a certain fire because it's an offering, right? So this is kind of one of those things I was like, did I read that right? Let me go back and read it again because I don't remember that part. So when the angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, we shall surely die because we have seen God. We wasn't supposed to see God face to face, right? But when his wife said to him, if the Lord had desired to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and grain offering from our hands, nor would he have shown us all of these things, nor would he have told us as such things as these at this time. I think God did a miracle here to put them at ease. Because if they knew that he was God, she would not drink anything from the vine. She would not touch anything unclean. Because this is a faith builder right here. This shows who God is. So the woman bore a son and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move upon him at Mahaneh Dan between Zorah and Eshtaol. So that's another important thing, because we're going to see this over and over. Every time you see Samson do something with strength, you're going to see this. The Spirit of the Lord moved upon him. It was not human strength. This was something supernatural that he had. So then we're going to go back to Numbers just for a second, because this is what tells us about the Nazirite vow. Okay? Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when either a man or woman consecrates an offering, to take the vow of a Nazirite to separate himself to the Lord. He shall separate himself from wine and similar drink. He shall drink neither vinegar made from wine, nor vinegar made from similar drink. Neither shall he drink any grape juice, nor eat fresh grapes or raisins. That's very specific. You know, it's not just the wine part. You can't even eat grape juice. All the days of his separation he shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine from seed to skin. All the days of this vow of his all the days of the vow of his separation no razor shall come upon his head until the days are fulfilled for which he has separated himself to the Lord. He shall be holy. Then he shall let the locks of his hair grow the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separates himself to the Lord, he shall not go near a dead body. That was unclean. Now, one of the things we didn't really pick up on probably until the last 100 years, why don't we touch dead bodies? Germs. You can pass things on. I don't know if y'all remember this. I think it was like back 1700s and 1800s. There was a doctor in a hospital, and I think it was over in England, and they were delivering babies, and they wouldn't wash their hands. So they would come from the morgue and then come in and deliver a baby, and babies and mothers were dying. And this doctor was like, let's start washing their hands. When they start washing their hands, the mortality rate went down. So then it became a requirement for doctors to wash their hands because the spreading of germs. So you don't know what somebody has if they die. You don't know if it's, you could have something left over from an animal, like flies or whatever. They spread diseases. It could be something that they have, a disease. So don't touch anything unclean. God knew that before we even discovered what germs was. So that was part of the reason. Don't touch a dead body. Don't go anywhere, anything unclean. He shall not make himself unclean even for his father or mother, for his brother or sister when they die, because his separation to God is on his head. All the days of his separation he shall be holy to the Lord. So that kind of gives you how strict it is to have a Nazirite vow. And now we jump back to Judges 14. Now Samson went to Timnah and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughter of the Philistines. And I want to say, Samson, God done told y'all can't intermarry with them Philistines. But he's looking with the eyes, right? So he went up and told his father and mother, saying, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me as my wife. Now y'all, what if Cameron come home and he said, y'all, I seen this pretty girl over here. Go get her for my wife. We don't think in those terms today, do we? Because
you go get her.
right.
But still, the parents were the ones that would do that. Kid, don't demand.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad. Yeah, that's their responsibility.
Yeah.
To get him a wife.
Get her for me as my wife.
Yeah.
Things were different back then. Then his father and mother said to him, now this is so parent-like, is there no woman among the daughters of your brethren or among all my people that you must go and get your wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? Like, is there nobody here among your own people? Can't you pick somebody over here? Why do we have to go over here to the uncircumcised Philistines? Isn't that like a parent move? And Samson said to his father, get her for me, for she pleases me well. But his father and mother did not know that it was of the Lord that he was seeking an occasion to move against the Philistines. The best way to start a war, I was going to say, is over a woman. How often do we see that, though?
Them women.
I know, them women.
Hey.
Remember Helen of Troy?
Hey.
The face that launched 1,000 ships.
When I was in middle school, they were fighting over. They were throwing punches at each other. The boys over a girl. I was like, wow.
I know. It says, for at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. All right, so this is one of those times they're ruling over Israel. Because we've seen times of war, we've seen times where they've ruled, and it's kind of been back and forth. It's been a struggle. So when they're disobedient, the outside people come in and rule. So now God's seeking an occasion to get the upper hand on the Philistines. So Samson went down to Timnah with his father and mother and came to the vineyards of Timnah. Now, to his surprise, a young lion came roaring against him. That means it didn't just walk up. It was roaring, is ready to fight. And the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he tore the lion apart as one would have torn apart a young goat, though he had nothing in his hand. And he did not tell his father or mother what he had done. It's like a kid, probably a teenager or something. Just tear apart a lion and don't even tell your mom and daddy about it. Okay, so what would you think it would take to tear apart a lion?
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. I'm even thinking of a deer. You know, we string up deer and we process them ourselves, but as far as just two hands, you know, I couldn't even get the hide off. I need something sharp. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you do that?
It's hard enough with a sharp knife to tear one apart.
Oh, I know.
Well, lions are not deer.
I know, they got bigger teeth.
They're stronger.
Yeah.
More muscular.
Yeah, they're even their mouth strength.
Yeah.
A lot more.
All right, so let me show y'all this. This is from the 12th century. It matches up with the same biblical century within which Samson would have lived. Its location is Beth Shemesh. The site is actually very near to Timnah, where we were talking about right now. It's where Samson was headed to and where he encountered the lion. So it is believed that this is Samson and this is the lion. Okay, and this is like one of those seals. And back then, like everybody had different seals. Like they've had the seal of Jacob they found. So they have different ones. So this one is one of the very few archaeological proofs that they believe links to Samson, just because it's within the same time period. It's got the picture of what they say is Samson and the lion, and it's in the same place as where he would have actually killed the lion. And they think that this account would have been all around. Like if he would have killed a lion, that's going to spread, especially if you kill a lion with your bare hands. So they were making these seals to commemorate what he had done, because he was a great judge in the fact of when God moved upon him and he moved in that mighty strength. He killed a lot of Philistines. We're going to get to that, but in that part of judging, God kind of used him as a little bit like a war machine, if you would put it that way. So then he went down to talk with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. And after some time, when he returned to get her, he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, a swarm of bees and honey were in the carcass of a lion. And he took some of it in his hands, and he went along eating. He done messed up his Nazarite vow. He touched a dead carcass. He eats something from a dead carcass.
Yeah.
I know. When he came to his father and mother, he gave some to them. Now they're unclean, and they don't even know it. I know. And they also ate, but he did not tell them he had taken the honey out of the carcass of a lion. I mean, come on, Samson.
Were they Nazarites too?
Apparently, his mother would have probably, done that Nazarite vow until he was born. It doesn't say if she continued in that. When we were reading about the Nazarite vow, it could be from a man or a woman. I don't know if his parents, it doesn't say, so I can't.
So I just
I can't
wonder
guess.
if they were unclean because they were Nazarites and touched it, or was that?
It was just the Hebrews or Israelites in general.
It was a law.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like they couldn't eat pork.
Yeah.
One of those ceremonial laws. And that was, again, God knew what he was doing, because pork has a lot of parasites in it. Probably especially back then, because they didn't process it like we do today. So his father went down to the woman, and Samson gave a feast there, for the young men used to do so. And it happened when they saw him that they brought 30 companions to be with him. Then Samson said to them, let me pose a riddle to you. If you can correctly solve it and explain it to me within the 7 days of the feast, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. Now, this was something that the wealthy did, because you didn't just have 30 garments in your closet like we do today. A garment, if you had something, you did not have a lot of them. So they were given as gifts. If you read through the Bible, lots of times kings would give gifts of garments or whatnot. But if you cannot explain it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothing. And they said to him, pose your riddle that we may hear it. So he said to them, out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet. Can y'all tell what it is?
Just the lion.
It's the lion, out of the eater. All right. So now for 3 days, they could not explain the riddle. But it came to pass on the 7th day that they said to Samson's wife, I know, here it comes. So y'all think Delilah was just the bad one. All right, we're going to see this, because this is entrapment right here. Entice your husband that he may explain the riddle to us, or else we will burn you and your father's house with fire. Have you invited us in order to take what is ours? Is that not so? They think that this whole thing, they're made to look like a fool. They don't want to be taken and looked upon like that. So they're like, listen, they start the threats. You're going to get him to tell us that we're not giving him our stuff. Like I told you, 30 garments of clothing was a lot for people back then. They don't want to give their stuff away. Then Samson's wife wept on him. Now, guys, I know y'all don't like it when your wife cries. But this is a newlywed wife. And she's crying. He probably doesn't even know her that well. I mean, he's been there for 7 days. How well can you know somebody?
My Bible says that she threw herself on him.
Yeah, I picture that.
I can see the drama.
Yeah. You only hate me. Does that not? That sounds very immature, doesn't it? You only hate me. You do not love me. You pose a riddle to the sons of my people, but you have not explained it to me. Like, well, if you love me, you would have at least told me what it meant. You don't love me. You hate me. And he said to her, look, I have not explained it to my father or mother. So should I explain it to you? This is such a man reaction. Isn't it? Isn't it? Like, I ain't even told my mom and daddy. You think I'm going to tell you? All right, so now she had wept on him 7 days. Not just one day. She's wearing him down, y'all. She's weeping 7 days while their feast lasted. And it happened on the 7th day that he told her, because she pressed him so much. Then she explained the riddle to the sons of her people. If I was Samson, I'd be like, oh, Lord, I done messed up with this one, you know? So the men of the city said to him on the 7th day before the sun went down, what is sweeter than honey and what is stronger than a lion? And he said to them, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle.
Ooh.
Now, if there was ever a country boy thing to say in the Bible, this is it. So, guys, take note. If you have not plowed with my heifer, don't tell me the Bible's not interested, y'all. You have not plowed with my heifer.
Yeah, but how would you accept that compliment, quote unquote?
After she's been begging him for 7 days, I can kind of see the frustration here.
For sure, but
What you want to be called a heifer?
right, exactly.
It says, then the...
You either.
No, I'm going to call him Jack Russell.
I think Keith needs to preach on this one Sunday.
It's space for people over it.
Yeah, it would. I bet he wouldn't even say heifer.
That's funny.
Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon him mightily, and he went down to Ashkelon, and he killed 30 of their men. What did he want?
Their peril.
So he killed 30 men and gave the changes of clothing to those who had explained the riddle. So his anger was aroused, and he went back up to his father's house. Now I'm just going to say this. For one man to go kill 30, that's a pretty big upset. You're outnumbered and you're outmanned, but if you see, the Spirit of the Lord is upon him.
So he gave them clothes that had probably blood on them, torn.
They're gonna know what's happened.
It's snapping their necks.
This is like the greatest insult because of what his wife did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not giving you 30 of mine. I'm gonna kill your people and give you 30 of their clothes. And I'm sorry. And okay, I was right. And Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his best man.
That's a slap in the face.
A Hallmark movie couldn't make this up, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah. Now you talking about, well, you know what? If he's mad over the riddle, what you think he's going to be like when they give his wife to his best man?
His heifer again.
What did you say?
I was gonna
Mess
say,
with his heifer again. Mess with his heifer again.
I might be glad to get rid of that. He might not be arguing about
That
it.
heifer would be going to the cell.
He's gonna be saying this all day.
Hey, never.
I'll
Make
make
some
my-
lunch.
Tim, do not use that
Yeah, I don't
at
think I would do that. That would not be wise.
lunch. After a while, in the time of the wheat harvest, it happened that Samson visited his wife with a young goat. And he said to her, he said, let me go into my wife, into her room, but her father would not permit him to go. And her father said, I really thought that you thoroughly hated her. Therefore, I gave her to your companion. Is not her younger sister better than she? Please take her instead. Oh, that would be awful. If you're the one and your father's like, oh, well, this one's better than this one. This sounds like a soap opera, don't it? And Samson said to them, this time I shall be blameless regarding the Philistines if I harm them. Oh, he had a grudge now. And give his heifer away. Then Samson went and caught. Now this is impressive. 300 foxes. Now if all of us went out today, let's just go on down to Pauline. Do y'all think we could catch 300 foxes in a week?
Lucky to see
Yeah,
one.
you'd be lucky if you did.
Right. I've been hunting a lot. Daddy took me from the time I was little up till I've been grown. I've seen one while I've been hunting. One. I've seen a couple on the side of the road, but only one while I've been hunting. So it's impressive. 300 foxes. But listen what he does to them. And he took torches, turned the foxes tail to tail, and he put a torch between their pair of tails.
That's mean.
It's ingenious is what it is. I mean, think in the terms of criminology. You want to set somebody's field on fire, what better way to do it? You're not there. You just have to let the foxes go. So when he had set the torches on fire, he let the foxes go into the standing grain of the Philistines and burned up the shocks and the standing grain as well as the vineyards and the olive groves. I'm kind of cheering for him here because it's ingenious. Like, who would think to do this, you know? So let me show you this. It's pretty neat. This right here is a mosaic from Habakkuk, and it shows the scene from Judges in which the torches are tied to the foxes' tails. So these are the foxes. I know this one's damaged over here, but can you see the two tails?
Yeah.
And then the torch in between them. So this actually dates to about the 400s AD, so 400 years after Christ. But they were doing mosaics to commemorate, I guess, Old Testament accounts. So I thought that was pretty neat. And it says, then the Philistines said, who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he has taken his wife and given her to his companion. So they knew who done it. They knew why he done it. So the Philistines came up and burned her with her and her father. Now, this is so stupid because you give his wife to another man and he's going to burn all of your grain. What do you think he's going to do if you burn her and her father? You know, like it's just like a continual thing. They're not understanding that he's going to retaliate against them. Okay. Samson said to them, since you would do a thing like this, I will surely take revenge on you, and after that I will cease. So he attacked. Oh, I jumped, didn't I? Did I jump? Okay. So he attacked them hip and thigh with great slaughter. I don't really know what that means. He attacked them hip and thigh. Like, I don't get that. Then he went down and dwelt in the cleft of the rock at Etam. Now the Philistines went up and camped in Judah, and they deployed themselves against Lehi. And the men of Judah said, why have you come up against us? So they answered, we have come up to arrest Samson, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah, 3,000, they had to send 3,000 after one man, went down to the cleft of the rock at Etam and said to Samson, do you not know that the Philistines rule over us? What is this you have done to us? And he said to him, as they did to me, so I have done to them. But they said to him, we have come down to arrest you that we may deliver you into the hand of the Philistines. Then Samson said, swear to me that you will not kill me yourselves. It's an odd request. Don't kill me yourselves. Like, let them kill me. So they spoke to him, saying, no, but we will tie you securely and deliver you into their hand, but we will surely not kill you. And they bound him with 2 new ropes. That's important, 2 new ropes. And brought him up from the rock. When he came to Lehi, the Philistines came shouting against him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the ropes that were on his arms became like flax that is burned with fire. Y'all know what flax is? All right, they used to make like garments out of flax or whatever. With fire, it's nothing. It's just nothing more than ash, right? And his bonds broke loose from his hands. And he found the fresh jawbone of a donkey. Is that unclean? This is the second time he's touched something unclean. He reached out his hand and he took it and he killed 1,000 men with it. No weapons, but let's use this jawbone of a donkey. Now, I know jawbones of a donkey are pretty big, but you would think it would kind of crack after 1,000 men. You'd killed with it. Maybe it had to be fresh. Maybe if it was, more dried out, it would be brittle or something. But that's a lot of men just with a donkey's jawbone. Then Samson says, with the jawbone of a donkey, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of a donkey, I have slain 1,000 men. And so it was when he had finished speaking, he threw the jawbone from his hand, and he called the place Ramath Lehi. Then he became very thirsty. Well, I'd be thirsty too after fighting 1,000 men. So he cried out to the Lord and said, you have given this great deliverance by the hand of your servant, and now I shall die of thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised. So God split the hollow place that is in Lehi, and the water came out, and he drank, and his spirit returned, and he revived. Therefore they called its name En Hakor, and that was that Hakor that I showed y'all where that seal was from. It's just spelled a little bit different. They spelled it with Q's, and this one is with K's, which is in Lehi to this day. And he judged Israel 20 years in the days of the Philistines. And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to get into the next part because it's going to take too long. So this is like a good stopping place, and I know we're in the middle, but does that make sense? Do y'all remember all this from the Samson account?
Good bit of it,
Yeah. There were parts I did not. I don't remember this. I don't remember this. But it's interesting. God can do amazing things with A jawbone of a donkey.
Jawbone. Jawbone of a donkey's pretty good.